Bring in Byron Scott, Lakers head coach. Let me start with the news here, Coach, that I guess it's official. Kevin Love's going to the Cavaliers. What do you think?
Well, I think it puts them right now probably the best team on paper in the Eastern Conference. So I like the move Chicago's made, and I still think Indiana's going to be tough, even losing Lance Stevenson. But I would put now Cleveland definitely the front runner.
Did you go on vacation after you got the job?
I sure did.
Where'd you go?
I went to the Bahamas before I got the job, and then I went to the Dominican Republic the night that I did the press conference.
Did you get recognized when you were there?
Well, the Bahamas, I've been going there for 20-plus years, so that's like my second home. So they treat me as though I'm Bahamian. And the DR got recognized there a bunch of times because, you still had a bunch of tourists there. So, it's still a good little getaway for me, though, and it was a lot of fun with a bunch of buddies and just had a good time.
Can you still dunk?
I don't know, Dan. I was able to do it 2 years ago. I don't know now. I didn't do anything last year, and now I'm getting back into the saddle, so I'm going to have to I still work out, on a day-to-day basis. That's where I'm heading now, to the gym before I go to the office. And I'm going to try it during this season. I'm going to try to see if I can still dunk. In my mind right now, in my body, the way it feels, I think I can. But time will tell in the next few months.
Do you think Kobe at your age will still be dunking?
Kobe at my age, at 53, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think a lot of guys at my age after they retire are going to be dunking. But, the one thing, I have a lot of pride in just keeping myself in pretty good shape and working out. But, as competitive as he is, I think if I told him this year, when you get my age, I bet you can't dunk. For some reason, I think he would work out until 53 and then dunk to prove me wrong and then stop.
What's the, when you're trying to motivate players, coaches have different styles here, but if you're trying to get Kobe to do something, how do you motivate him to do what you want him to do?
I think with Kobe it's very easy. First of all, I don't think Kobe needs anybody to motivate him because he has a pretty good keen sense on what he wants to do and how he wants it done. And he has a one-track mind, and that's winning championships, and that's the thing that motivates him. So I don't think necessarily from a coaching standpoint, it doesn't take a whole lot to motivate Kobe. I think if you start just bringing up the word rings, that's motivation enough for him. And, being that he has 5 of them and I have 3, I know what it takes to get there just like he does. I think just from that aspect, it's a pretty easy sell when you're talking to him about winning championships.
He's Byron Scott, the new Lakers head coach, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Pretty emotional press conference there. Were you?
Yeah.
Did sometimes you don't know how you're going to feel until you're in the moment. Did you?
Right.
Did you have any idea that it was going to be that emotional for you?
No, Dan, I had no idea at all. And it was. I was fine up until I saw Jeannie, and that was before the press conference, and I knew then that. Bringing up Dr. Buss's name was going to be emotional. Because like I said, he was so beloved by so many people, and he had such a great amount of respect from everybody in Los Angeles and all of NBA as well. But he touched a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and I had the pleasure, obviously, of playing for him and getting to know him as a person. And this is a man who, to me, was, as big as life in the NBA, but would call me just randomly and say, come have lunch. I want you to meet me here. And that meant a lot. That meant a lot to me. And so when I saw Jeannie and, we embraced, and she just talked about how happy she was that I was here and how proud her dad would be. I mean, we both almost broke down. We had to just kind of, sit back. So when I got up there and, started talking about him, I was reflecting back not only on that particular moment at that particular time, but all the things that Dr. Buss did for me, the Lakers, and the NBA. And it was hard. It was hard. And I didn't think I would get that emotional, but it just shows, I think, how much I cared and loved the man and how much he meant to the Lake organization and how much I really, really wish he was there that day.
Expectations, realistic expectations for the upcoming season.
Well, I think there's a lot of people here in Los Angeles that understand that it's going to be a tough road for us. You know, we have a lot of work to do, and I understand that. Mitch and Jeannie and Jim understand that, but it's still not going to stop me from telling guys I want to win a championship, and that's how I look at it. You know, I don't know how good we're going to be. I mean, I got a lot of guys that I don't really know, so I got to get to know these guys and see what makes them tick. You know, but I got one guy that I do know what makes him tick, and that's a great piece to have. You know, but I expect us to compete every night. I can't put any wins and losses on there, Dan, but I do expect this team to be a team that's going to compete every night, that's going to play tough, you know, physical brand of basketball, and will play defense. What
do you know about Julius Randle?
I know the young kid is very gifted. Offensively, you know, he can rebound the ball. He can score on the post. He's probably got about 15-foot range. He handles the ball extremely well for a big man. Pretty athletic. I look at him as Zach Randolph, but more athletic. And I think in a few years he's going to be a monster, you know, once he really learns what the NBA is all about, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
We saw Dr. J at LAX a couple of weeks ago, and we started reminiscing about that dunk he had when Michael Cooper was going in to challenge him. Were you on the floor at that time when Doc went up for that dunk?
Dan, I think I was still in college at that time, because I was like everybody else, like, whoa, you know, Coop, why'd you jump? And I think I talked to Coop about it my rookie year when we played against Philly, and Doc was, you know, still playing. So I wasn't in the NBA at that time. I think that might have been 82, 83, and I came in 83, 84.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was one of those where I felt bad for Coop because he went up, and then Doc just kept going up. And then
Coop did the right thing, though. He ducked.
Yeah,
he said, forget it. I ain't got no chance of this. This is going to be on ESPN for the rest of his life.
I tell people about Dr. J. I got to see him in the ABA, that we look at Michael and all these great players. I mean, Dr. J was so far ahead of his time. He just wasn't the same player when he got to the NBA, even though he was an all-star in the NBA. I still marvel at that. I know we look at Jordan and say he was really the first to fly. You know, Dr. J just took on anybody, all comers in the ABA. He was just a bad, bad dude.
Yeah, he was. And you know, before that, it was Elgin Baylor. And then, you know, then nobody thought you would see that type of acrobatic, you know, again. And then, you know, Dr. J comes along. And like you said, I think a lot of people that didn't see his career in the ABA, they really missed out because he was phenomenal. I mean, he was good in the NBA, there's no doubt about that. He was still a great basketball player, still could fly, but the ABA days was unbelievable watching him play. And, you know, we talk about MJ, and, you know, rightfully so, on how, you know, how he changed the game as far as guys that could take off and do some of the things in the air. But before that, it was Dr. J without a doubt, and he still had some highlights that you'll probably never see again.
More likely you make the playoffs or you dunk this year?
Well, I'm going to dunk this year. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to dunk this year. So I'm going to just leave it at that. As far as the playoffs, like I said, you know, Dan, I guarantee you this team is going to surprise some people, and we're going to be pretty competitive every night.
Hey, good luck, and thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Dan, no problem. Anytime.
All right, it's Byron Scott, Lakers head coach.